الباز الفني أنيسات.
And now on to the vault finalists and the pommel horse finalists.
اللاعبة جودي عبد الله من مصر.
Here are the finalists in the vault competition. We'll start with Judy Abdullah of Egypt. We'll then have Zhang Xuting of the People's Republic of China. So those two, the 8th and 7th best in qualification. Francesca Santi of Chile, 6th best in qualifying. Veteran performer, wonderful to see her here. Hilary Heron from Panama, 2nd best in qualification, a real contender for a place on the podium. Elisaveta Us, 4th best in qualifying.
From Slovenia, Teja Belak.
Slovenia's Teja Belak, another hugely experienced gymnast on this apparatus, and looking for a 40th World Cup medal. Yu Lin Min of the People's Republic of China turns 23 in 4 days, 5th best in qualification. And we will finish with the top performer in qualification, the Spaniard Laia Font. And all of that's great fun for us. It's qualifiers in the first half. The women's vault final will see the top qualifier, Laia Font of Spain, perform last. And we're going to have Hilary Heron of Panama, the 2nd best, performing at the halfway stage. And we'll have in the antepenultimate spot Teja Belak, who is the 3rd best in qualification. This could be a very tight final determined by Exon when she won those 2 medals last year. .066 at the Cairo International Arena. I'm Ollie Hogben and I am privileged to have your company live here in the arena. Warm-ups just coming to a close. That's Francesca Santi of Chile. I can tell you it's a very warm and pleasant day in the city of Cairo. Traffic not quite as busy as it usually is, being as it's a Sunday. This is one of the world famous cities for busy traffic. It's also world famous for all of its fantastic sights. And the gymnasts love to take in those sights when they come here. They like to go on trips to the pyramids, which are organised very regularly by the local organising committee here. They also like to get into Cairo, to the old city, which I had the chance to visit last night. Some amazing markets there, beautiful architecture going back thousands of years. And there's the Museum of Egyptian Civilization as well, that contains the famous Hall of the Mummies on the ground floor, which is just spellbinding. All of this is very familiar for Judy Abdullah of Egypt, but it will not be in a little while, because she's going to be moving to the USA, to the University of Illinois. She's committed to study there on a full athletic scholarship. Congratulations to her. And she gets things underway with a well-performed full twisting Yurchenko to start. She was an absolute star of the Cairo World Cup last year. She won vault and uneven bars gold. Bronze, I should say, excuse me. They reacted as though she won gold. It's amazing, the roars in the crowd when she got onto the podium. She's such a young gymnast as well. She's a really positive and bright young person. She'll fit in so well to the American collegiate scene. Lovely upbeat attitude, very devoted to her studies as a gymnast, but also academically. And she showed that she can handle a big competition when she won those 2 medals last year. .066, very positive. That's almost the same as qualification, just a fraction down by a few hundreds. Second vault from Judy Abdallah, sometimes known as Judy Gohar. This we anticipate being the more difficult of her vaults, and indeed so. The young gymnast who was born in Greater Cairo in Giza on the West Bank. Judy Abdallah of Egypt. '17-year-old with a score of 13.033. Really well done to her. 13 for the second vault, so she's up on average from qualification. Crosses the 13 barrier, and that's the mark everyone's got to try and beat. Jiang Shuting of the People's Republic of China, 7th best in qualification. Senior international debutant. You may remember her from the Junior World Championships last year. Had a secure first vault, well done to her. Full twisting Yurchenko. We anticipate exactly the same series of vaults from the first 3 gymnasts. We think that the third of those, Francesca Santi, will do them in a different order, but all much of a muchness. Big moment when you go on the road as a senior for the first time. You travel far from home, compete in a big arena with a lot of very experienced athletes. .9 was the qualification score for Jiang Shuting. Would be probably quite similar. .933, so up by just a few hundreds. Secure start from the 15-year-old. Vault number 2. That was nicely done as well. So exactly as we saw from Judy Abdallah. Waiting with a greater sense of happiness. Jiang Shuting, 12.999 the average, a 13.066 for the second vault, so it was better than Judy Abdallah, but not by quite enough to take her beyond the Egyptian. This is what I mentioned about the expectation. It might be quite a close competition.
Representing Chile on vault, Francesca Santi.
Absolutely wonderful to welcome after two very young competitors, a real veteran of this sport. Francesca Santi of Chile, 33. She hasn't competed a great deal at international level over the last couple of years. Real vault specialist, and unfortunately just wasn't quite there with the full twisting Tsukahara. So she's going in the opposite order as we expected from Abdullah and Zhang, but with the same two vaults. She's an amazing advertisement for tenacity. If you think she had a difficult time there, it's nothing compared to literally years of her life where she wasn't able to compete as a gymnast. Family moved from Chile to Spain. She couldn't afford to train at the High Performance Centre. She was there briefly, but it was so expensive. So she didn't actually compete as a gymnast from the age of 13 in 2005 until 2013. Can you imagine that? An 8-year gap at that stage of your life. Most people would have gone, well, that's a part of my life that no longer exists. I can't be a gymnast anymore. I've got to do something else. To then come back almost a decade later in your 20s and go on to be a Bolivarian Games champion, to be a South American champion, to win World Cup medals. I mean, you want a role model, not just in gymnastics, but in life. You've got one when you look at her. Absolutely incredible. So it was a double twisting Yurchenko, by the way, from Francesca Santi. I was too focused on what I thought she was going to do rather than what she actually did. And that landing was very problematic. So it will be a 5.0 difficulty. There we go, 12.5 is the score. She did indicate that she was going to do a full twisting Tsukahara. That's what actually came up on the board. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we've had an inversion from qualification. So Francesca Santi. So I did say that we might see some gymnasts trying something different from qualification, and we got it with Santi. 12.766 is the average score. 13.033 for the full twisting Tsukahara. But that decision to upgrade
Representing Panama,
didn't quite pay off on this occasion, but good effort. Now Hilary Heron of Panama, second best in qualification, 13.449. And she is certainly going to contend. A 22-year-old from Panama City who competed at the Olympics in Paris. She has an absolutely incredible collection of medals in the Americas. Didn't have necessarily the tidiest form, difficult landing because of how unsighted it is for the gymnast. She landed decently upright. She has been a medalist in this competition, by the way, won bronze in Cairo in 2023. On. Had difficult landing for her second vault in Baku at the World Cup, but she starts with 13.133, and it is a 4.4 difficulty, so the position piked, but the intention is to get a 5.0 for that. Now, this should be a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. It is, and that is likely to change the leaderboard. Really well performed by Hilary Heron of Panama. Hilary Heron surely will go into the lead. Yes, she has done. 13.299. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Here we are at the Cairo International Arena. It is the World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics, and Elisabetta Us is the fourth best after qualification. But as is the case in all World Cup competitions, it's a zero start. Let's see what she can produce now. And 1.5 twisting Yurchenko, same as qualification to begin. Got pretty decent height. The 19-year-old in her first international competition. A little bit of leg bend, but the legs quite straight together. Quite a big landing adjustment, so she'll lose some tenths there. It was a very well executed vault in qualification. 13.6. It is 13.466. No surprise, it's a little down from qualifying by just over a tenth. That sizable landing adjustment. Little unsteady as she landed. Maybe a slight loss of form at the start of the vault from Elisabetta Us. Elisabetta Us. 13.299 is the average score, 13.133 for the second. So she's in second place. Teja Belak of Slovenia, third best in qualification. An Olympian from a decade ago and going in search of a 40th World Cup title. It's a big, ambitious first vault. It had a slightly wild feel to it, but there's no doubt that she's got the raw numbers to challenge for a place on the podium. Also trying long term to hit that straight body position, obviously very piked there. Similar to what we were discussing with Hilary Heron. She did compete in Cairo last year, had a very impressive season overall, won 3 titles in World Cup and World Challenge Cup competition. So it is a 4.4 difficulty as expected, a 12.933 score. Execution not quite as strong as qualification. She does have a penalty tenth as well. So a little work to do going into vault number 2. But we expect a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko. And she's performed that nicely. Where is that going to see Teja Belak positioned on the leaderboard? We've got Hilary Heron in first place. Teja Belak, 13.133. She's into the silver medal position. 13.333 for the second vault. It's actually a 13.333, by the way. I think the scores that we're seeing appear on the graphics are not factoring in the 2/10 of bonus marks. The scoring in the arena is communicating that she's 13.333. Yulin Min of the People's Republic of China. Well, that is a big first vault. The gymnast who turns 23 in 4 days. Part of the team that won gold at the Asian Games in Hangzhou a few years ago. The next games are coming up in Nagoya later this year. She's been an Asian champion on vault as well. There's a whole extra rotation of the body packed into that vault from what we often see. Was a little low as she landed it, but it's complicated gymnastics. There we go. That is a 13.733 score. And because it's a double twisting Tsukahara, the Zamolodchikova vault, it's 5.2 for difficulty compared to the 4.4 that the full twisting variation scores. So she set up well, and she really, oh, that's a shame, just had a little delayed loss of stability that will hit the execution. But she's got some complicated work going on. Gymnasts in men's competition. Now it is a 12.566 for the second vault from you, and that has put her on 13.349 into second place. The last gymnast to go is Laia Font of Spain, top performer in qualification. 13.45. She needs a little improvement upon that if she's to beat Hilary Heron. Well, the landing was really strong from Laia Font. There will be some clear form deductions at the apex of that double twisting Yurchenko vault, but it does, of course, carry a much higher degree of difficulty than a lot of the Yurchenko vaulting we've seen in this final. So there's things to add, there's things to remove perhaps. Slight lack of tidiness to the leg position. A little piked as she lands, but not very. But she really plants the feet and doesn't adjust much as she lands. So way more pluses the mind difficulty by 6/10 for the second vault. Oh, well done. 13.866. That's got to be up there with her most securely landed double twisting Yurchenkos. She's now leading the race to win this, and she may well do. And she knows it as well. Laia Font of Spain. She won the bronze medal at the World Cup in Turkey, in Antalya. The Spaniard, Laia Font. 13.533. She gets a 13.2 for the full twisting Tsukahara, and she's won the gold medal. Congratulations to Laia Font. The classified results in the vault competition: bronze to Yulin Min of the People's Republic of China, silver to Hilary Heron of Panama, and the gold medal to Laia Font of Spain.